looking at these 4 areas of my life during my gratitude practice helped me see blessings that I was completely overlooking. I want to show you how looking at each area can make gratitude a deeper, more powerful practice, especially if you're healing from emotional abuse. Today, I'm going to teach you how to get up on the balcony so you can take a look over the whole broad spectrum of your life and identify areas of gratitude that you've likely been missing. This method really helps to ensure that we are not taking the good things in our life for granted and just purely missing them. And even if you're struggling in an area of your life, this practice can help you find even the smallest things to be grateful for. The practice that I'm going to be teaching you today, I learned in the book Living in Gratitude by Angela Ryan. Hi, I'm Kristen. I'm a survivor of emotional abuse and neglect, and that left me with anxiety, depression, PTSD, codependency, an anxious attachment style, and a tendency to choose toxic relationships. I was facing a life of misery and loneliness if I didn't figure this out. And the breakthrough came when I realized that I had to go back and heal my childhood wounds to heal myself from all of this trauma. On this channel, I'm combining my personal experience as a survivor with my professional experience of over 30 years as a registered nurse and nurse educator to bring you a curated, science-backed approach to healing from trauma so that you don't have to waste years of your life with trial and error like I did. The first life quadrant is health and well-being. And practicing gratitude in this quadrant is a stabilizing force for your mind, body, and spirit. As a survivor of emotional abuse, practicing gratitude in this quadrant is a direct antidote to the psychological and physical toll that the trauma has had on our body. And gratitude strengthens our immune system, which is often compromised from all of the stress that we've been carrying from the chronic abuse. This is typically a pretty easy area for me to find things to feel grateful for. But when I'm going through trauma healing, I often feel exhausted and really run down. I kind of talk about it as feeling like a dish rag, like I'm just limp. I have absolutely no energy. And during those times when I don't feel good and I'm practicing gratitude, I have to really focus on very small things. So gratitude in times like this can be really little things like, I'm grateful that I was able to get to sleep at a good time last night, or I'm grateful for learning that I need to slow down during the day and take my time when I'm doing activities. Or maybe I'm grateful for having the patience to know that healing takes time, and when I feel really run down, it is temporary and it's something that I'm going to get through. The second area of gratitude is relationships. And this isn't just romantic relationships. This is all of our relationships. And it can even include your relationship with yourself. Practicing gratitude in this area is a direct antidote to the feelings of isolation or separation or lingering fear from past abuse. It helps us keep our hearts open to the possibility of connection and maybe even love. This might look like thinking about gratitude that you have for a loving partner or a really good friend. It could also be something like forgiveness that maybe someone extended to you. It could also be you extending compassion for your own self. It could also be really small things like a kind word from a friend. The next area is financial stability and abundance. People who have experienced emotional abuse or neglect often have kind of an overall general sense of scarcity and lack. Practicing gratitude in this area helps us to develop a sense of security and stability. This one can be kind of tough sometimes because I think it's typical that many people feel like they just never have enough money, right? I know I'm often thinking about, how am I going to pay my bills? And I have two children, and we often have a lot of medical bills, and I'm, kind of always working on paying those off. And so that brings stress. But a way that you can practice gratitude in this area, is looking for smaller things. I'm grateful that I actually have a house to live in, that I have a warm bed, that I can afford to put food on the table and things like that. Before I talk about the last area of gratitude, I wanted to just let you know that I have created a mental health resource guide that contains information about all the things that I've done over the past several years to heal myself from my trauma. And I want to share those things for you. There's a link in the description. If you click it, I will send the guide to you for free. The last section is work and personal growth. If you have a great job that you love, practicing gratitude in this area can be really easy. But if you don't have a great relationship with your work, or you don't have a job currently, this can be really stressful. Gratitude in this area might look like being grateful for the learning that you had in going through a difficult thing at work, or maybe even the learning that you had in applying for jobs that you didn't get. Practice in this area can help you reclaim your sense of self-worth. So when you practice gratitude, you can sit down and look at all 4 of these areas of your life. Take 5 minutes and write down some things in all 4 areas of your life. And hopefully you'll notice that there's a lot more to be grateful for that you haven't really even been thinking about. And also start looking for those very small things. Even in the areas where you're really challenged, look for the small things. There's an even deeper way to practice gratitude using the 4 portals of gratitude. And I just did a video about that, and I'm going to link it here. So if you want, you can go check that out next.